Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Gist with Josh. I'm glad to have you here on a beautiful Friday evening. A lot going on in the land of Canada this week. It's been a very interesting week. We've actually been graced with a visit from the one and only Pope Francis of the Vatican. That's right. And he's coming to visit us to apologize for the atrocities committed by the Catholic Church with the whole the atrocities committed by the Catholic Church with the school residential schools is what they were called. Residential schools, that's right. And essentially, if you don't know the story about the residential schools, at one point, and everyone likes to give Canada a very good rap. Canada in the big picture gets a very, very good rap. For being the good guys. We're always, keeping the peace. Can do no wrong. That's Canada, right? That's our image. We got Justin Trudeau. He's a handsome guy. He puts on a good face. He's secretly, dictating life itself. But that's how you know Canada. But actually, in the 1800s and whatnot, we had a pretty discreet history of rounding up all the natives within the provinces and essentially sending them to these schools where we could re-educate them and beat the yellow out of them, make them more British, make them, like the Queen and stuff, get them off the pipe, try and get them stop clicking and stuff. And, but they pushed it to the point where it was almost like, from what they say, it was almost like a Native American apocalypse or a Native American Holocaust or some crazy shit. Like what they did with the Jews is borderline what we did with these poor Native people. At one point or another, but that was in the 1800s or whatnot. And I have Irish ancestors and I have French ancestors. So I mean, I don't know if the French or Irish were partaking in that. But anyways, it's kind of silly to take on guilt for another generation that I was never a part of. I don't remember doing that to them. I'm sure it happened, and it's good to acknowledge that. But, the Pope's here, and he's apologizing, and he's been all up and down the country, and I guess he's in Iqaluit, which is an interesting place, to go for him. But, a lot of the elders and whatnot are getting around, and they're saying that, it's not enough. They're saying, the Pope should do more. He's going to have to expand on this apology if he wants to respect the indigenous. They're not taking the apology so well. And, it got me thinking, we got the guy here. What if the Canadian government just did did the Catholic thing and in the spirit of, the visit, just kind of, put him up on the cross, do it old-fashioned style, pay for his sins, of our ancestors kind of shit. He can kind of just write off the tab for all of us right there and then, once and for all. He's a Catholic man. He believes in the whole thing. You have faith. You believe in the power of forgiveness. Jesus did it. Get up on the cross. Do it. Make it happen. Sacrifice yourself. Make the Catholics look good for once. We've been touching kids for the past 100 years. Why not? Why not lay one down? Aztec style. Flesh sacrifice. Old school. Hey, you don't like that we did all that terrible shit with your ancestors? I agree. You know what? What if he carried his own cross? We can make a big thing out of it. We could have we weren't going to do Canada Day over this, What if we can make an event or a celebration out of it? I'd say we get together at Parliament, Ottawa. We do it right. We line both sides of the street with spectators. We get him to carry the thing down to the lawn. He'll set it up himself, get a crown of thorns and everything, and we just nail him to the thing. We can put it on the CBC. he can apologize there. You know, I feel like that'll stop, all the hemming and hawing, around the totem pole. I feel like people can relax a little bit if we did something, something that justifies the pain that those poor, children went through. We gotta make them pay the price. There's blood on the table, blood on these hands. Only thing that washes away blood is blood. Everyone knows that. How else can we, make these Catholics pay? An apology is not enough. What should we do to get back at them? What else? What should be given? What tithe should be paid to restore this balance? I don't know if the Pope's gonna make it out of the country. We might turn into wrong turn for the Pope. His entourage might get. I'm just joking. His entourage might get ambushed. It'll be like Far Cry. He'll be like out there in the woods trying to survive amongst all the vengeance wanting natives. Nah, I'm sure there's no hatred in any of the natives' heart. I'm sure it's all love. I'm sure they love white people and Christians and Catholics. I'm sure they think the world of us. I'm sure they think, Jesus is a cool guy. I'm sure they love everything about us just like we love everything about them. As much as you love, in multi, culturalism and, native ingenuity, ingeniousness, indigenousness, as much as you love all that, they love whiteness. They love, Hamburger Helper. They like craft dinner, and they like, dogs. They like pugs. They like small animals as pets. They love watching Dave Chappelle. These are all shared interests. We're one people. I'm sure it's like the same. It's good that there's a lot of people looking out for the natives, though. A lot of white people looking out. You got a lot of strong white women standing in between, all the hateful people in the country and the natives, and I think that's important because, if not, geez, I think that we might have a situation. I think they might try and bring back I think there's some crazy people. I don't know where they are, but I think there's some really bad individuals, okay, that lie in the bushes and the shrubs, and I think they want to bring back the residential schools. So we might have to watch out. The Pope might have to take another lap around. The Canadian government, I believe, got a little handsy. Even in multiple times after the residential schools were closed, I think they've had issues with the natives and the reservations. I don't think it's all as buttoned up and, bright-eyed as we make it out to be. I don't think everyone's, getting along so well. But at least the big man came down from the Golden City, It's pretty cool. I think it's a big deal. But whoever commissioned that visit, did a good job. I think it was necessary for the Pope to come to Canada and to save some face, make an apology. I think that was lovely. But we're doing a lot of lovely things here in Canada, especially the Liberal government. They've been doing a great job, and they've been making up for all the bullshit. Really, they decided to pass some court, the Supreme Court, found this has nothing to do with the Liberal government, I don't believe, but essentially the Supreme Court has ruled that sex without a condom is sexual assault. And if I can read this headline from the Apple News, or from, I don't care who it's from. So the Supreme Court rules condom use can be a condition of consent in a sexual assault cases. So in one sense, it's like, yeah, you can't, if you have sex without a condom, you can be accused of rape. But if you're wearing a condom, that's like a defense against being accused of rape. So like, if I was a rapist and I just, quickly slipped on a condom, went out and did my business, got to work, got to raping, got it in, got out. If I had my condom on and they take it, this lady sues you, is it going to be like, oh, well, this gentleman had a condom on? Clearly, there was some element of consent in this. It's like they've, I guess they were trying to, what they really wanted to say was, what they really wanted to get across was the idea that if you have sex with a woman and you're not wearing protection and you get her pregnant, then that's like assault. That's like an equivalent of assault. If you have sex with a woman and you're not wearing that condom, then that is like you're assaulting them. You're sieging them with your penis as a Trojan, and you're firing in your units and you're taking them over from within. That is essentially how they wanted to frame this. But on the flip side, by saying that, they're also saying that by, wearing a condom, that kind of grants innocent status, because, you're not assaulting them, because the harmful component of sex is ejaculation, or that's the assumption, I would think. So it's kind of shooting yourself in the foot, with this double think, this double meaning of words, and this transition from normalcy to insanity. So that's a big W for a woman. Another big W for women's rights. You no longer own your body, and now you also are responsible for your own sexual assault. You can thank the Canadian government for that. It's created I don't know, I think that's going to create a very, you might not think, oh, these laws are just legal jargon. None of this really matters. This is all silly nonsense. Who cares what the Supreme Court's ruling? But it's going to be really weird, a couple years down the line once, these situations start breaking out. Like it'll have an effect on how we, it'll have an effect on courtship. Like these legalities and this legal lens of viewing like courtship and romance is destroying the ability to like naturally like start a relationship in a way that's conducive to start establishing a family, actually, remaining in a monogamous relationship long enough to maybe think about living together and maybe wanting to raise children, but really rarely does it get to that point. People are more concerned with like getting their rocks off and getting out, and that's because of these weird laws that are essentially putting us by engaging in like loving relationships, we're like screwing each other over. We're fronting up these big social risks, like these big legal risks. Like you practically need a lawyer just to hook up with a chick nowadays. Like you're practically not comfortable. Like if you don't have an MBA, you probably shouldn't be trying to get like any poon on the fly. It's probably not safe. If I was a legal advisor, I think I'd give out that advice. Because you don't know if you're going to shack up with one of these chicks. You pull out the condom, she holds your wrist and says no. Without, whispers in your ear. And then next thing you know, she's claiming you assaulted her. Because she had to go and take she went and got an abortion. And she has it on record now that, you had that. Maybe that's how it is. Maybe and especially in the States now, where some places it's going to be illegal to have abortions. Maybe if the guy, got her pregnant and she had an abortion illegally, maybe the guy would be held responsible for rape, for not using protection. Maybe that type of, this isn't Canada, right? So I doubt in a lot of these red states they'll start interpreting the law in such a way. But it's interesting to see where that's kind of going. Makes a very romantic first date when you're practically, I don't know, you're practically bullet, like just line, like bullet questions, like lines of bullet questions on a first date, just asking, like, do you want kids? Like, you're just trying to figure people out. You're just trying to see if they're like a new world mechanical symbiote, or if they're a real human being. That's like the first obstacle. And it's like 80% of people, it would seem like, or 80% of women, it would seem like, they don't want to have kids. They want to live in fucking Toronto, New York, LA. They want to, stay in 5 nights a week watching Sex in the City reruns on Netflix. And then the other 2 nights of the week, Saturday and Sunday, they want to go and bum fucking crypto traders for bottle service at these, like, kind of corny ass clubs. You know what I mean? That's kind of what every woman's, like, dream thing is. They all want to, like, be a hot bitch, up in the clubs, having guys buy drinks for them, give them attention. It's a bunch of fucking nonsense. And who wants to be involved with any of that? If you're a guy that makes a lot of money, I don't know why you're spending it. Maybe, maybe if I had a lot of money, maybe I would spend a lot of time at those. Maybe I'd be up in the club throwing dollar bills. I'm sure it's fun, 1 night a week. That's probably what it is. They're probably just going out 1 night a week, making it rain. Just having fun with it. Like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has taken over the world. If you haven't heard of Andrew Tate, if you don't know who he is the man. He is the myth, the legend. And, basically he's just, I don't know. He said something kind of crazy today. I was listening to him, and he said Islam is the only real religion anymore, because they're the only ones that enforce, religious boundaries, which is an interesting thing to say. Is that the measure of a religion? Is it their ability to enforce boundaries? That doesn't seem very enlightened, but I don't know, man. Tell you what, those ladies they're not acting up. They got their woman in line, They're respectful. And people want to jump to, like, because there's some horrible shit that they do to women, in these societies. They're like stoning bitches. They see a woman with a big nose, they think she's a witch. They do something crazy. I don't think they probably don't actually even do that. See what I'm saying is, it's probably not as bad. Like, I think a lot of these chicks, like, really respect their husbands and enjoy it. And I think they create a hierarchy in society that's kind of beautiful. It looks good. On the distance, the horizon, you look at the Saudi Arabian cities, you look at all the Muslim cities. They got some vision. They got vision. Muslims got vision, and they got grind set. And they know how to keep their woman happy. And, they know how to keep everything. They know how to keep the operation. That's more than I can say for, like a lot of white families, man. A lot of families that come from like Irish background, like myself, or French, where we just kind of like freestyle it. Like, it seems to be a lot of weaker connection. I don't know. I kind of feel envious of that when I see it. When I see a big Muslim family, like, I spent a lot of time in Toronto, and there was a lot of different multicultural families, and they were huge families. And I remember being like, damn, what's a guy got to do to like, damn, I should have been born into freaking trying to think of a good race that has lots of kids. And now I can't think of any. But you know what I mean? Like, I wish I was born into like one of these big like Eastern European families, or like, or whatnot. You know, with like 10 brothers and sisters, and we all live on the same like we all live in the same house. You know, in a subdivision in Toronto, and you know, like you all like contribute money under the same roof. You like work like as a singular operation. That's cool. That's really cool. I don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They'll survive. They'll survive this oncoming recession. Now, the recession, speaking of, that is, we're choosing to ignore, to pretend doesn't exist, or at least the government is. Everyone else is aware of it. And, we're all bracing ourselves that these families will do fine. They'll be, you got 10 people working in one house. You got 4 people in each bedroom. Everyone's, 4 people per bedroom. Each person's pulling in $40K, even minimum wage. You're going to have no problem making the mortgage. You're going to have no problem tilling the fields. And, everyone's going to be just fine in that household. You know what I'm saying? But then I got all me and my ancestors are all spread apart. We're all fractured. The dynasty is broken apart. Like, we're loose. We're not gonna survive this next apocalypse. Like, maybe I'm a strong seed. Maybe I'm a strong fragment, and I can plant myself, and I can wither the storm, and I can establish myself. That's the hope for a lot of us. And maybe that's the great white myth. Like, we go out there as individuals, as independents. We don't need 150 people behind us for our cause. We're one for 150. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Like, I think this weird thing where a lot of people are just completely morally bankrupt, culturally bankrupt. They got no obligations. They live like shit, and then they claim to hold some kind of morality and essentially policing others for their morality. They think that makes them moralistic or creates the illusion that they're moralistic. I think that's a cancer, and I think it's something you don't see a lot. You don't see other cultures, that have this unified Islamic faith or whatever. They don't suffer from that cultural schism like we do. Like, and that's enough. That's enough talking about Muslims. I digress. That's enough of that. But they're good people, and I'm fascinated by them. And I look forward to seeing the Islamic Martian colony with the big golden palaces and like the weird VR dimensions they build. Like you think about virtual reality and how they're saying they're going to like rebuild society in virtual reality, and like everyone's going to live in the virtual world. Like, and you think about like all the civilizations like Britain, the French, and the Russians and the Chinese, and all the great works of architecture they've built throughout history, all the beautiful works of art that have been produced, like the Great Wall of China, or the Eiffel Tower, or the Taj Mahal, or the weird brick thing that Muslim people like to walk around. What are they gonna do when they get the virtual reality? The virtual reality programming, and they start mapping out the virtual world, and this new like metaverse. What kind of religious and great works would they build? I mean, if we keep establishing this metaverse and this technology, and society doesn't implode because of a tyrannical globalized government trying to completely unify us under one guiding force, if that doesn't trample all forms of culture, Like what kind of beautiful, like what kind of beautiful architecture or fucking, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, but I'm just saying the Muslims would build some crazy space art. They would have a crazy colony on Mars, okay? They wouldn't just build a big fucking brutalist block, all right, like they do with all the architecture in Toronto, all right, like we do it in Canada. They would probably have some weird golden palace. There'd probably be a fucking genie, a blue genie, like the one from Aladdin flying out the side of it. They would probably have like golden Lamborghini spaceships floating around. They would do it right, you know. I just don't think we would be way more utilitarian. We don't have the appreciation for beauty. We're just all, you know, we're all wear a condom or it's sexual assault. You can't even have naked natural sex without it being considered an act of violence by default. You know, that's the level of depravity that we're working with. I feel like they're gonna have a way cooler futuristic thing. Like I feel like I see their future. I see what it looks like. Us, I'm not so sure. Like we gotta step up. Like we gotta bring it back. We gotta you know, put the God back in country. That's what we gotta do. Monkeypox cases. They're saying it's gonna be they want to announce that it's a global endemic. It's going to destroy the world. It's COVID 2.0. It's a bunch of bullshit, fake news. Nobody cares. I don't think they're going to be able to get people back into this whipped up again, into this frenzy. I think people are tired. I think they've had enough shit. I think they just want to make money and relax and like worry about the crippling, the crumbling, and just cascading economy. Like I think they want to make their money right now. I think that's the main focus. There can't be a massive fucking a massive lockdown again. We can't go into that shit. People aren't gonna do it again. I'm telling you what. Like I don't think anyone's gonna put back on the masks. You know, you still see some folks walking around, and they got the mask on. You know, these are the people who are saying that, you know, the Pope's apology probably isn't enough. The same people, you know. I don't know, guys. I don't want to go back. I can't go back. If it comes to that point, it's gonna be turned up to 10. Like right now, everything's chill. I'm kind of laid back. You know, I'm just kind of on cruise control. You know, keeping it chill. Everything's fine. It's lovely. Summertime in the Maritime. Nothing bad. But if I have to stand up for my people, if I have to rise to the occasion of totalitarian as a tyrannical liberal government that tries to tell me what I have to say, that tries to compel my speech, you know, that forces me to call somebody a him, a her, that is a her, that is a him, you know, I will get so mad. Like, I will single-handedly establish like a brotherhood, like some shit at Assassin's Creed, okay? Like, I will establish some shit like out of Assassin's Creed, and we will take the Templars down. Okay, I'm just joking, of course. I would never. I'm not an assassin. I'm too fat to be an assassin. I'd probably try to, if I went to assassinate anybody, I'd probably like, I'm not athletic enough. Like, I couldn't run up a wall. I probably couldn't even like stab a knife hard enough to assassinate somebody. Like, if I had the hidden blade, I'd probably I'd probably like hurt my wrist or something. It's not in me. But I'm just saying, I'll be like, what's that guy called? The guy that got up and wrote the essay, the French guy, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Yeah, I'll get up, I'll stand on the table, and I'll start reading out my essays and shit. I'll start shitting out 2,000 word essays about freedom of speech, about individuality, about responsibility, I'll start losing my mind. I will go schizophrenic in a whipped up frenzy of Adam Smith and fucking individuality, independence, capitalism. I will lose my mind on freedom of choice and like fostering the individual spirit, the Christian spirit, the sacrifice of Jesus. I will go so hard into it. I will literally be on the street corner with those guys that play their music and like just yell about Jesus coming. Like I will be to that degree. Like if there's truckers going to Ottawa, truckers 2.0, I'll be there. Like I'll get a truck. Like I won't get a truck, but I'll find a truck. I'll find somebody with a truck and I'll be up there. Like we aren't going to lay down like naked dead bodies. We're not going to let them do this to us, make us slaves, put microchips on us, make us, get our barcodes out and stand in food bread lines and, take away our internet, take away our freedom of speech, tell us that we're thought criminals and that we say things that are bad, we say things that, people disagree with and that they consider offensive, that they consider an act of aggression because we have aggressive opinions that harm people, trying to tell us how to think and be because they think they're so holy and enlightened when they're the ones that, are essentially giving people a pass to rape people. Like, these are the same motherfuckers that claim enlightenment are the same people that will have children take 4 fucking vaccines just to go to school, or now the University of Toronto wants you to you have to have all your booster shots if you want to be in person in Toronto, University of Toronto. These people are going to be dropping like flies. And on that note, you got all these doctors in Toronto, they're dying, they're dropping, literally like the 5th doctor this week that has died. This lady, all over the country, doctors are fucking dying. Like, what's going on? Like, is the liberal, are they whacking them? Are they whacking them because they don't agree with the government, or is it these vaccines that are killing them? My point is, the same people that claims, this type of liberal enlightenment of, is the same people that will fucking put you in jail for saying things that they disagree with, that will take away your freedom because you said things that they disagree with. How enlightened is that? Not just being able to let people live, having to like bear down on people with your ideology, with your freak ideas, and needing to like stop the flow of life to impress upon people what you think is right, trying to like maintain an order with some kind of weird social repercussion of force, like this weird social punishment where you just exclude people from society if they don't agree with the party line. Like the party line that would tell you to, wear helmets just standing up. You have to walk around and wear helmets. These people have no respect they have no understanding of human decency. They have no human decency. They don't think of themselves as human. These people think they're above humans. They think they're smarter. They think that men are idiots. They think that we're stupid. They think that we're just aggressive and we're mindless and that we can be controlled like sheep. Made to live comfortably and, not be too reckless and not get too rowdy and not stir the pot too much and not break the flow, not break. They're very carefully fucking in specific order, that they use to rain down from. The same people that will tell you that your fucking 70-year-old relative needs to take a 4th vaccine that's going to clog up their heart. The same people that will tell you that, children should be allowed to transition, that will say that parents shouldn't be allowed to have a say in whether or not, their young child wants to transition, or people who can't tell the difference between, who can't see the hypocritical racism in their own anti-racist preaching. They can't see the hypocritical racism in their own anti-racist preaching by saying but by saying that these people are being oppressed, and by taking away, by taking control of the narrative of their oppression, and telling black people they're oppressed, telling natives they're oppressed, creating this idea in people's minds, in the minds of the people, that they are beneath, maybe as an underdog image, but still that they are beneath and they have to punch up, that they have to figure something else out, that they just aren't on equal terms, which was the presumption everyone else was under before 2000 and fucking whatever. Before 2012, before when everyone started getting all political with the weird the weird identities and who they identify with, not all that bullshit. All right, when people used to just be people, and now they're put into groups, and you're your race first, and people say, that these people that say that they're anti-racist, are the most racist. They have the most racist ideas, because they're constantly viewing things through an idea of oppression, through a lens of oppression, through a lens of, protecting people from things that they aren't actually in danger from, but they impose the idea that they're in danger as well. So they're the oppressors, and they're the freers. They are the ones. They are the liberators and the oppressors simultaneously. They get to be the liberators in their own crazy little story about how everyone's oppressed and how they're rescuing everybody, and we just gotta wear our mask and take our vaccine to stop the spread, and find a way to support a minority, or pay back in some form of reparation, or kind of just take a step back and reflect instead of celebrating Canada Day, because you're white and, it's not so cool. Yeah. I think Pope Francis is going to have to get down on his knees, He's going to have to get down on his knees. He's going to have to visit the totem poles. There's going to be some pictures coming out. Pope Francis standing next to some totem poles. There's going to be a new level on the totem after the visit. A whole new level. Dude. What if they get a strand of his hair and place an ancient native curse on the Pope? And they curse Christianity more than it already is. Is it bad to joke about Christianity being bad as a Christian? Would God be yo, totally dogging on Christians? How can you consider yourself a Catholic? I've had other Catholics talk to me like that. They're you can't joke about that. I'm but I believe in God. It's no, you're a lukewarm Christian. You don't really believe in God. You just kind of you just say you believe in God so you can feel good about yourself at night. But you don't really hate gay people, and, you don't really care about the state of, your daughter's hymen. You don't care if that shit's intact. You don't want to go to church every Sunday. You're not a real Christian. I bet you don't even talk to God. I talk to God. When I pray, me and God have a conversation. Is that what it's like for you? No? Oh, okay. Guess you're not a real Christian. God only talks to real Christians. Oh, well. There'll always be another opportunity. Maybe if you're a native person in another life, you'll be reincarnated. And then God might talk to you in your next body. Maybe if you're reincarnated as an Islamic person, maybe then God will talk to you. They seem to, I bet you if anyone is talking to God, it's the Islamic people. I bet you they get walking around that big black cube thing. And I bet you God just starts whispering right into your ear. Probably starts telling you just starts feeding you the golden thread of wisdom. Just starts flowing into your spirit. Just starts to get elevated. That's why That's why Saudi Arabia is so rich. And that's why they all like wear sandals all the time, and they just kind of like, you always see those crazy videos of Saudi Arabians like leaning outside of their car on the side of those sandy highways. Man, they probably have like the best air conditioning in the world. Dude, whenever you see a bunch of Saudi Arabians get together, man, all the old guys, they all look the same, wearing those weird dresses with the head things. Dude, they look stacked. They look like, man, they look like they're all there to like pray together. Like they're interfacing with the Holy Spirit constantly. And over here in the West, like we're just getting together and crushing. Like, you know, you're just getting together and on Discord with your buds, you know, crushing beers and smoking bowls. Like, you know, going around picking up bitches, trying to get mine, hustling, grinding. You know, we're scrappier. We hold ourselves in a lower regard. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I think there's something to be said about not being holier than thou, just kind of living life, taking the bull by the horns and just kind of giving her. Who gives a fuck? You know, about, you know, you're going to sit around and read 10,000 pages of some book to fucking be cool, you know, to get God to like you. You telling me I got to read pages out of a book just to get God to like me? What kind of fucking deal is that? What did the people do to get God to like them before they had fucking Bibles and shit? Did they just fucking stare at the sky and mumble to themselves like fucking idiots for hours on end? You know, what's so wrong with me just having like a passionate and strong belief in a higher power, and that we were all connected as spiritual beings, and that we can unify through love, and that love is the highest, you know, order, emotion. What's so wrong with just all that jazz? That's, you know, I think that's good, but doesn't even stand a chance against Allah, against the holy faith of the Islamic people. I don't know if it does. That's such an epic discussion. Jordan Peterson should go and debate some like Islamic people. We should just be putting up our best against their best 24/7 and figuring this out. Because, you know, with all these globalists and shit trying to take us, you know, on, trying to ruin our tradition, trying to make us into insect people, you know, I think we need to double down. I think we need to find allies in our religious brothers, and, you know, maybe we could have like a Christian Muslim church where we like get together and like praise Allah and Jesus at the same time. Does that even make sense? Would that be offensive? Can people be like that? Seems like a good strategy. If no one's ever done that before, might work. Might be onto something. Build a mega church for all faiths. That sounds like something the LGBTQ would do. Sounds like something they would do. And then they would secretly be like, yeah, Jesus is cool. Yeah, Allah's great. By the way, you know what else is great? Gender conversion therapy. And that's how they get you. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think we got to acknowledge the catastrophic effects of the residential schools on the native people. But I think the natives also have to acknowledge and observe the fact that shit happened, and what's in the past is in the past. Can't change the past. And, you know, I don't know how many different classes and degrees of white people have to apologize, but like, we don't got another level up from the Pope, so they're gonna have to take it or leave it, you know. I don't know what else like they're gonna get out of us. Like what what do we have to do? How much do we have to, what do we got to do to reconcile? Like, what's the price got to be? I don't know. I think we got to stop focusing so much on shit and start thinking about the future. Start thinking about space, Saudi Arabia on Mars. Start thinking about the Vatican City on Mars, the Vatican City 2.0. Start thinking about like a giant space ark. You know, let's get on that shit. Let's have a giant space ark and fucking colonize planets and like try and find God physically and metaphysically at once. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be better than, I don't know, getting angry at each other and blowing each other up with nukes? Nobody wants that. Putin, wants to win. U.S., they're gonna do their thing. They got a tiger by the tail with this whole Russia thing, from what it sounds like. Sounds like the more this goes on, the more it's gonna go in Russia's favor. Sounds like they're trying to wait out the NATO and Ukraine military, defense until they can convince Germany to join on and start fucking with NATO, which would be catastrophic. And now you got talk about Taiwan staring down the United States because of a visit to Taiwan. I mean, it's not looking pretty. There's a lot going on. It could be more chill. People could just be nice to each other. We could all just be nice, relax, take a step back, put our money together like a bunch of Muslims. Put our money together and build like amusement parks and like build like fun shit. I don't know. Try and like reestablish our economy, have businesses and stuff. Stop feeding into this weird international monetary fund that is slowly but surely financially globalizing this earth. If you don't know about the International Monetary Fund, it's essentially a monetary fund that all of the world's nations borrow from. It uses leverage from borrowed deals with other countries in the form of direct SDRs, which is I forget what it's fucking called, but it's an SDR. It's an acronym for some form of a loan, essentially, and that's how they're getting these countries on the hook. And in exchange for this funding from the IMF, a lot of these nations have to, agree to certain terms and conditions and deals and how they conduct a business in order to, repair these certain obligations of these agreements. Which creates a very unique situation. Financially, we are imploding. It's going to be like a global implosion, and there's kind of nothing we can do to mitigate it. But we could act better. Can always act better. If people would just act better, it doesn't really matter what's going on. If people can kind of just act good, I know shit's shitty, but I mean, it's not like the sun is expanding. It's not like the sun's expanding in a heat death and consuming us all. It's not like human life isn't going to go on. I don't know why we can't all get along. I think that's where this is going. I think it's going to be all chill. I think the natives are going to forgive. I think they're going to forgive. If the elders don't forgive, maybe then the children will forgive, and then the elders will get replaced by the new elders, and maybe everyone, bygones will eventually be bygones, and all this identity politics will be swept under the rug when Donald Trump gets reelected in 2024, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and all this bullshit will be behind us. It's been a very it's been a very uneventful, relatively chill summer after everything that it's been the past 2 years. So, what more can you ask for? Let's just hope the better spirits, better days keep on coming. Life keeps being good. This recession doesn't beat the shit out of us. Maybe it'll create some new business opportunities. If you're a poor person, a lot of people on the lower end of the economic spectrum make a lot of hay during the recession. It's kind of a period where a lot of people can invest and grow with the expansion of the economy afterwards. So start making money. Start thinking about starting a business. There's a lot of beautiful ways that you can prepare yourself. And, recession doesn't have to be such a bad thing. And who knows, maybe nothing will become of, these wars with Ukraine and these stare downs. Maybe all this, nonsense you hear is just nonsense. All this news and bullshit. Maybe I read too much of the news. What would the Gist with Josh be without, any news? What if I just talked about my bullshit? I feel like that would be, I don't know, it'd probably be, just... I've seen some shows that work like that. I don't know. This is an ongoing process, like I always say, and I really hope that it's starting to take shape and form in a way that's appreciable by the audience, and I like to make myself beholden to this, and I see a lot of. I derive a lot of meaning in getting my little bit of message out there and putting out my little piece of commentary. And to the degree that that's enjoyable or helpful or relevant, I'm glad that I can contribute it. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Gist with Josh. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you're enjoying the rest of this summer, this beautiful summer. I hope you feel ingratiated with the Pope's presence and the Pope's apology as a Canadian, as a potential ancestor of the great white threat that oppressed these people. I hope you feel like you've been represented and ingratiated with some form of forgiveness, even though it feels like we never get it, we never get that acceptance, we never get that forgiveness. You know what? Doesn't even matter, because at the end of the day, we got God on our side. So that's what we got going for us as white people. We got God on our side. All right. God's on everyone's side. It's on the Islamic people's side too. But I'm just saying, if these liberals want to keep pushing, if they want to keep towing that line, if they want to try and round us up, make us pay, stand our ground. We're going to stand our ground. And we won't back down. That's a great note. Don't back down. Stand your ground. Don't let people treat you like a clown. Or, in the case, this is a comedy show. None of this is to be taken seriously. It's all just rant. Me trying to create a fun little vibe. Me trying to get in your ear and entertain for a moment's time. That's all this is. So hopefully this is good. This is number 7. Number 7 is a special number. Holy number. Could mean something. Number 7. Number 7. If you have 7 of something, you can have 100 of something. So, it's a good sign. I'm glad. Alright. Until next time. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night, and, apologize to a native near you today. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night, ladies and gentlemen.